Suikoden 5 is a tactical JRPG developed by Konami and released in 2006 for the PlayStation 2. It is the fifth and final entry in the vaunted Suikoden series. Like earlier games in the series, Suikoden 5 is an epic JRPG that takes players around the world of Suikoden to assemble a large army to challenge and ultimately defeat a gaggle of treacherous nobles, knights, and general evildoers. You must find and recruit dozens of playable characters to use in JRPG turn-based combat and large-scale real-time strategy battles, similar to what you see in the Kessen series. The term tactical also applies to the turn-based battles, where you field a large party that takes battle formations and has different classes like warriors, mages, ranged, and support units. The story is similarly epic, and although the fight determines the fate of an entire nation, you play as a prince whose family was betrayed, so the story feels deeply personal. Role-playing is more pronounced in Suikoden 5 than in earlier series entries, since you make many decisions that personalize the story and make you care about what's going on. With that, let's talk about what works well in Suikoden 5.
I will bring Lord Lake's fate to the entire country!
As I mentioned, the story is engaging and the game makes sure to connect this political, at times diabolical Game of Thrones type story with a deeply personal drama. The story can be harsh and unrelenting, but mixes in a good bit of whimsical anime charm to lighten things up. Think of the whimsical antics of Dragon Ball Z, for instance. Although they can go a little far with it sometimes.
Leon!
Oh, just don't get me started on Leon.
Prince? Everybody? Sorry for making you all so worried about me. As you can see, though, I'm completely healed now. And I'll be fighting alongside you.
Besides her, there are dozens of other characters, so everyone will find some characters to gravitate towards and to root for. The gameplay is full of great towns to explore, with side quests to complete and shops to visit. There's also an open world to explore, where you can get attacked by invisible monsters, Final Fantasy VII style. Dungeons are where you can really be tested, and you must rely on healing items and infrequent saves to make it until the end. Unfortunately, these dungeons can be made specifically tricky because your magic users only have a limited number of spells they can cast, rather than relying on a mana pool, so a lengthy dungeon run will leave you feeling like you're running out of ammunition, and it will make you play more cautiously. With that, let's get into some of the cons here. Dungeons are where the problems begin for Suikoden 5. The encounter rate in dungeons is very high. You'll be forced into battle a lot. Healing options are limited, and the spell-casting party members will run low on ability points quickly. There is no difficulty setting as far as I am aware, so enduring the dungeons is just an unavoidable slog. Getting around the world can also be difficult, since traveling is a mix of running around, relying on boats, and just teleporting everywhere. Unfortunately, the world never feels that connected, since global travel is a little janky. Jank is also present in the large-scale battles, but if you are patient, there is still a lot to like about the battles, like how you get to make use of those dozens of characters, even if you don't bring them along in your party when you travel around the world. Oh, what can I say? I can't bash this game for long. Let's get into the conclusion and tell you about how much I absolutely loved it. In conclusion, this game slaps. Do people still say that? Well, I guess that depends on when you watch this video. Assuming, of course, that YouTube isn't shuttered eventually in favor of TikTok 2.0 or some other unrelenting dopamine-producing platform. But enough about the imminent collapse of our society. Buy this game or download it, or however you choose to enjoy your retro content these days, just get a hold of it. Even if JRPGs are not your thing, because they are not really my thing, this game is tactical enough and the story is good enough to keep you engaged regardless. This is the very last Suikoden ever made. And while many say this style of RPG lives on in Fire Emblem, Suikoden itself is finished. But you know what? That's okay. All good things must come to an end. and Suikoden 5 ends the series on one heck of a high note. If RPGs interest you at all, give Suikoden 5 a chance.
The briefing is now adjourned. If you would, Prince?